I can write down the YouTube link thing. Yeah.
7:30. All right. CJ, yay.
Hi.
Mike, are you there? Mike Schuba, I got the poster.
I am right here.
You're going to hear the song.
I'm glad to be here too. Can you guys hear me well?
Yeah, we can hear you. But you can't sing along because it doesn't work on Zoom.
Okay.
But we're glad you're all here. 7:30, 7:31. It's time to begin. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And this is going to be, I hope, an interesting evening. I'm going to play through the entire We Shall Stay Here album and sing it. And the only thing missing is all the backup performers who were on the record. So I urge you to, if you want to hear that, well, you just have to download it or buy it. But this is, you'll hear all the songs, the lyrics, if you want, if you don't have them, there's a link, there are a couple links to them in the chat, and you can read along with them if you want. This being the first night of Passover, we always ask, why is this night different from all other nights? And in my case, it's not different at all, because I didn't look at my calendar when I scheduled this. So so I apologize to those of you who are not here or who have to rush back. But this is available, will be available on the YouTube link pretty much forever. So you can see it there anytime. But I don't want you to leave now that you're here. But if somebody asks you, that's where they can still see it. Okay. So someone also asked me if I was going to sing Dayenu. Which means it would have been sufficient. It would have been enough. And so I wrote a whole bunch of verses, and I decided not to do them. But but if you want to sing Dayenu with me, I have a couple verses that have nothing to do with not being sufficient. It's just they're fun and they're appropriate. So. Though you are sitting far from here, my heart can feel that you are near. Far from here, but you are near. Dayenu, 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 Dayenu. Usually it doesn't work with people singing along, but now it's just around. But typically it's a good idea to mute yourself while we do this, because it doesn't really line up. Okay, the last verse is, if tonight you have a Seder, you can always watch this later. Have a Seder, watch this later. Dayenu, 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 Dayenu. Dayenu, Dayenu, Dayenu. And that is not on the album. That's a bonus track. So I'm just going to go through song by song, first to the 12th, and yap maybe way too much, but you might find it interesting, the background of some of these songs and how we recorded them, et cetera, et cetera. We did a lot of recording. We did a fair amount of recording in the studio, and people came in and added tracks individually with pretty much by themselves. And I'm happy to report that no humans were harmed in the making of this CD. because we were all very, very, very safe, and it all worked out. But a lot of it was done remotely, and I was able to choose some people, just the best people I thought for the job, and they were able to send in some amazing tracks, and then Max Cohen, the engineer, put them all together miraculously, and we got a CD out of it. So the first song, and I'm going to do a few songs that took different time periods to write. One of them took about 30 years. This one took less than 2 hours. And I was on vacation in Maine, and Johanna Halbeson, some of you might know who that is, and she posted in the People's Music listserv, who's going to write a song about little boxes? Because she had spent the whole week looking at what you're looking at right now. And usually I really do struggle with lyrics and take a long time. This one, within 2 hours, I had posted and gotten comments on. And it just kind of, I was ready, having been a school teacher for several months already online, and lived the life that we've all lived. So here's Little Boxes on Computers. Let's see. I'm using the flat pick so you can hear the guitar, so we'll see how that works. No, I'm going to give up. Little boxes on computers, little boxes full of floating heads, little boxes, little boxes, little pictures with no frame. We've been trying to stay healthy with a total lack of leadership, just one blockhead to zoom in on to remember who to blame. And we try to pay attention, but we're busy counting nasal hairs on the boxes, little pictures with no frame. Now this is how we meet each other, and the world sees our messy living rooms, or the part that we just cleaned up, 'cause we have a sense of shame. And somebody's dog is barking, and her husband is in his underwear, and don't ask what she is wearing down below that missing frame. Someone else who left their sound on now is using the facilities, but thank God there is no video, just a gray box with their name. And we're zooming every morning, and we're zooming every afternoon. We're so busy getting dizzy, watching pictures with no frame. When this horror show is over, and again we're three-dimensional, we'll no longer be in boxes, but we'll never be the same. Thank you. That's our life for the last year.
One.
And that was one of the serendipitous things that happened. I approached Jay Unger, who is to me the best fiddler in America, about being on this album, and he said, "Yeah, sure, I'll do it." And Molly Mason, my partner, will play bass, and so on 4 of the songs you'll hear them playing. But fiddle wasn't perfect for this, but I didn't realize he's an amazing mandolin player. So he did some mandolin part on this, and the last verse I wrote him a little harmony that he nailed. So these first 2 songs he and Molly played on, and I think added a lot, but they couldn't make it tonight. So the next song that I'm going to do is a parody of Those Were the Days. And this I wrote last spring. And I hope you'll join in on the die, 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 die part in your home. That's really fun to sing. And what else can I say about this? I was able to get people from all over the world to sing behind me on this. Just people I said, well, I know someone in Australia, maybe they can send me a part, and someone in England. So it was an international affair. Let's see. Once upon a time, our lives were normal. We'd sit around in groups. Remember groups? Remember how we'd pass away the hours, gathering in bars or on our stoops. These are the days, my friend, When will they ever end? I've been inside forever and a day. I'd like to leave this spot, but I don't have a yacht, and so I guess I'll never get away. Da 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 da. In the town of Wuhan was a market selling wild boar and pangolin. A virus came and people had to shelter, and they would sing these words in Mandarin. These are the days, my friend, when will they ever end? I've been inside forever and a day. I'd like to leave this spot, but still it's way too hot. These are the days, oh yes, these are the days. Da 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 da. Then the virus spread to every country, but it spared the good old USA. Luckily, our president's a genius, so he made the whole thing go, wait, 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 that's not how it happened, that's not how it goes. Here's the real third verse. Then the virus spread to every country. Now inside the house we have to stay. When I try to teach my kids their lessons, I see why teachers ought to get more pay. These are the days, my friend, when will they ever end? I've been inside forever and a day. I'd like to leave this spot before I start to rot. These are the days, oh yes, these are the days. Da 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 da. The president has offered a solution.
Looks like a glue.
Maybe that will work or maybe not.
No, maybe.
I think that vaccination is the answer to inoculate us from this idiot. These are the days, my friend, when will they ever end? I've been inside forever and a day, but I'll stay in this spot until I get a shot. Got to. These are the days, oh yes, these are the days. Da 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 da. These are the days, oh yes, these are the days. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. These are the days. Thank you. I can see you out there. And the way, if you have not seen the album, it's divided into 3 sections. Section one is these days. Section 2 is, and that's 3 parodies. Section 2 is Life on This Planet, which is 3 songs from my 1982 LP that I never digitized yet, and I love them. And then the third part is Rising, songs of hope, grace, and healing. Do try to stay muted, Peter. There was only one person. Thank you, Peter. I'm so glad you're here. So this is the third of my 2020 parodies. And although I wrote this a few years ago, but I think it's still current. It's based on another very old song called The Frozen Lager, which was on one of those 2 Weavers albums from the Weavers group that Pete Seeger was in, and they did a concert they rented Carnegie Hall when they were blacklisted. They just said, well, we'll rent it, and they sold it out for Christmas Eve 1955. And their albums that came out of that were in sections, so it's kind of inspired me to do this one that way. Okay, so I just saw a strange sign, but I think we're okay, right, Jeff?
I hope so. I think so.
Okay. So anyway, this is the Frozen Blogger, based on the Frozen Lager. As I sat down one morning in an internet cafe, a tattoo-covered waitress to me these words did say, I see that you are a blogger. Then she added with a smirk, that means you'll sit and play all day, then say you've been at work. My boyfriend was a blogger. All he ever did was type. We'd have a meeting once a week if I could get on Skype. He'd buy a mini latte to nurse from 9 to 5, and once an hour he'd stir it with an old 1 gig thumb drive. He was a cut above all of the other blogger bums. His fingers flew through Facebook while he tweeted with his thumbs. One day he got a brand new Mac, the finest of its kind. But with his expanded memory, he completely lost his mind. He wouldn't eat, he wouldn't sleep, he wouldn't take a drink. He only paid attention to the ones who clicked his link. He blogged and blogged without a stop. This went on for a week. I told him he should take a break, but he could not hear me speak. For one whole month he sat there, a-tapping right along, his body growing weaker, his opinions growing strong. Now there's a word here I have to explain. You might not know. When you get flamed on the internet, that means they say very bad things about you. Just then he saw that he'd been flamed, and he had a spasm attack. The root beer flew into the air and landed on his Mac. The Macintosh exploded with a mighty crash so loud that his system froze from head to toes, and he flew up to the cloud. So I lost my blogger boyfriend, floating somewhere in the fog. And here I'll wait for someone who will promise not to blog. All right. All right. I just realized I had not set up Life on This Planet because I have a different instrument. I think I'll just play that on the guitar today. Be sure to keep yourself muted because it's a little distracting if you're not. This next 3 songs are from the Life on This Planet, which was a album I made in 1982. And as I said before, there are 3 songs that never got digitized.
And here I'll wait for someone
Mary Jo may be coming in. Anyway, we got these back, and I had literally took the original tapes that we made that LP out of and had them baked, they call it. They actually put it in a dehydrator, and they were preserved and then transferred to digital. And so this is the title song of that album called Life on This Planet.
Hold on.
So I'm going into my A modal tuning. I do have to tell the story about this song, which is that it was, you know what, while this is very unprofessional, but while I'm telling the story, I'm going to get my sitar out, because I bought it over the summer and I almost never get to play it. And it's in this case right here. And it's pretty good for playing this song on. I recorded this in 1981, I guess, on a Quattro, which is a Puerto Rican guitar. And I've gone through 2 Quattros since then. They don't seem to last. But I never was happy with it for one reason. I loved the sound, but I tuned to an open tuning, and to change keys, I'd use a capo. And I run out of space on a Quattro because the neck is about this long. So this is my sitar, and I got to replace that. And one thing I can say about it is it holds its tuning because I haven't touched it in a month. Having said that, so this is sort of an ancient English instrument, and in fact this came from England, this particular one, having been produced in, I think, Vietnam. Life on This Planet. My darling, please come to me. Let me tell you where we are. Stranded on a desert, and I thank my lucky stars. There is life on this planet. I know we can see it. I know we can live it every day. Is the balance okay? Balance works okay? Oh, won't you be my lover? We can ride the world around and dance all day together, surrounded by the sound of life on this planet. I know we can see it. I know we can live it every day. We can find an oasis in the middle of the wind and blow our babies' kisses as they join us in the swim of life on this planet. I know we can see it. Yes, I know we can live it every day. And when our children leave us and our water all is gone, we can smile into the sunset and in sadness move along, leaving life on this planet, and know we have seen it, and know we have lived it every day. So my darling, Please come to me, let me tell you where we are. Stranded on a desert, and I thank my lucky stars. There is life on this planet, I know we can see it. I know we can live it every day. Thank you. Thank you. So I didn't tell you the story, which is worth telling. And some of you will really relate to it. This was a song that I wrote in 1969, just after I had started teaching guitar at the Guitar Workshop in Roslyn, Long Island. And there's at least 2 of you out there who I know from there. I should say, this is, for me, this is kind of such an amazing evening, because as I look at you, and I know there's other people out there, I know you from probably 20 or 30 different parts of my life, and eras and chapters, and it's just so incredible. Remember the TV show This Is Your Life? Well, some of you might. It's kind of like that. They pull someone out of the audience, and then everyone, you know, their kindergarten teacher up to their choir director, you know, they were all there. That's kind of what it is for me tonight, and I'm glad you can also be with each other too. So this song in 1969, I made it up, and I sang it for someone at the Guitar Workshop named John Zeffel, who learned it and started singing it. And then he sang it to some friends, and then he had a baby shower for his wife, and they were having a baby. And they invited that friend and invited me to that baby shower. And she had already heard him sing that song. And then we kind of hit it off. She knew who I was, sort of, and Jerry and Sue, you might have even been at that party at John Zeffel's baby shower, and I met this woman there, and now we've spent the last many years making the song come true, because we really hit it off, and now she's my wife, and we have 2 children of our own. So the whole song sort of I outlined my life a long time ago, and just went ahead to live it. And but that last chapter is not over yet. The one about moving on into the sunset, we're not there yet. So that was the first song from We Shall Stay Here. The second one is called There's a Traffic Jam in the Zocalo. Now the Zocalo, if you've ever been to Mexico, you probably know what that is. Every town has a Zocalo. It's the central square, and there's often a cathedral there. And I was briefly in a town called Tasco, which is a silver mining and tin mining town. And in fact, I got this ring, which you can't see, but I wear it as my wedding ring. I got it there on that particular day. I just spent 2 days there. And the one flat, it's built on the edge of a mountain. It's just almost vertical. And the one flat place is the Zocalo. And I wrote a song about the Zocalo, because I love to travel, but I always have mixed feelings, especially in poorer countries where they're really dependent on you, and yet you feel sort of icky being a tourist. But they need you, and they love that you're there, and you know. So I tried to get all that together in this song. Let's see how I can do this with a. First, I want to be in tune. And if you feel like singing along in the chorus, again, the lyrics, there is a link to all the lyrics somewhere. Jeff put it up. I'm looking at the. Okay, looking at some of the comments. That's so sweet. Jeff, I hope you'll save the comments when we're done, because I don't want to interrupt to read them now. But very nice comments. I love it. Thank you. Now me and Sam drove into town at the start of market day. Everyone knew who we were, but no one backed away. I had $5 in my pockets. I'm so out of tune I can't go on. Sorry. Start again. Me and Sam drove into town at the start of market day. Everyone knew who we were, but no one backed away. I had $5 in my pockets and 50 in my shoes. The way the natives kissed my feet, I knew I stood to lose. There's a traffic jam in the Zocalo, way down south in Mexico. It's Uncle Sam on the lam, a long way from Chicago. I began to hop from shop to shop till my arms were filled with loot. I bought a set of dishes and a fancy cowboy suit. Then I grabbed a hot tamale and headed for the square to find that human folly was making progress there. There was a traffic jam in the Zocalo, way down south in Mexico. It's Uncle Sam on the lam, a long way from Chicago. Camping cars from California and taxi cabs from town, and tourist buses filled with us all tried to run me down. I dashed to the cathedral, but much to my chagrin, there was a hot rod Ford with a plastic Lord where the altar should have been. Now there's a traffic jam in the Zocalo, way down south in Mexico. It's Uncle Sam on the lam, a long way from Chicago. I bought a picture postcard and retreated to my car, where I found the Holy Trio with Jesus on guitar. He said, something tells me you need a song to sing. So here's a tune I wrote for you, and it doesn't cost a thing. And he sang, hay mucho tráfico en el Zócalo, en el sur de México. Estoy Sam viajando lejos de Chicago. Hay mucho tráfico en el Zócalo, en el sur de México. Estoy Sam viajando lejos de Chicago. I threw the man a peso and retreated to my car. Whoops. Sorry. I threw the man a peso and set out for the States. But every time I'd hit a bump, I'd break a few more plates. My 10-gallon sombrero with the dingle balls hanging down blew out the window. My jumping beans jumped away, but I brought back more than I bargained for since I heard that poor man say, there's a traffic jam in the Zocalo, way down south in Mexico. It's Uncle Sam on the lam, a long way from Chicago. There's still a traffic jam in the Zocalo, way down south in sunny Mexico. It's Uncle Sam on the lam, a long way from Chicago. Traffic jam in the Zocalo. Well, let's see what's next. Yes, the title song, We Shall Stay Here. And for this, is the balance working okay? I know that the sound is not maybe high fidelity, but we're here. And I hope you're enjoying yourself. Yeah.
Paul Kaplan, we got to play at the Amherst Folk.
Someone's speaking to me. Okay, that would be Bob probably. All right. So, yeah. This is a song of commitment. That's the word I like to use to describe this song. And it was quite moving to me when at my daughter Sienna's wedding, the chorus that she's in, she didn't sing, but she was busy getting married. But it was a commitment, and the chorus she's in sang this song in 3-part harmony, which some of us out in the audience there tonight have also sung. The Leverett Chorus had done this previously, but that was quite a moment. This was an empty space until our love appeared. Now that we found our place, we shall stay here. If we can sing in tune, even the stars may hear sounds from a tiny room, we shall stay here. Out of the earth we sprang, I know, into the earth we'll go, but till our voices break, harmony hides our fear under the love we make, we shall stay here. Out of the earth we sprang, I know, into the earth we'll go, but till our voices break, harmony hides our fear under the love we make, we shall stay here. We shall stay here. We shall stay here. Thank you.
One of your best, one of your best.
Thank you. And the interesting thing about the record, first of all, I see Peg is out there, and Peg was at that wedding. And maybe, I don't know, maybe one or two others of you. But the thing about the recording is that I got some really nice, beautiful singing by Robin Greenstein, who also played the banjo on it. And I got Billy McComiskey, who's an amazing button accordion player, one of the best in this country. He played a solo on it, which was just astonishing. And that song goes in 3 different keys, and neither one of them stopped in the middle to change their anything. They just, I don't know how Robin did it on the banjo, but it was just unbelievable. And if you get to hear this, by the way, if you're interested, you can download one song at a time on my website, for I guess $1 or whatever it is. If you have any favorites from tonight, just mention that, and you can buy the whole thing if you like. And I'll send you, if you download it, I'll send you the lyrics. So I guarantee that you'll have those. But having said all that, we're going to move to the Rising, 7 songs of grace, struggle, and hope. And that takes us to song number 7, the second half of the album. So the first of those is The Voice of Pete, my 4th parody on the album. And I've long been a believer that a parody does not have to be amusing in any way. This is just borrowing a tune that seemed appropriate and appropriating it. This I wrote around, I think I wrote it here, I can't remember ever, 2001. And in fact, I'm going to read you what I wrote on my album notes. As Pete Seeger moved into old age, he began increasingly to depend on his always eager live audience to support his flagging vocal abilities. In 2001, I wrote The Voice of Pete as an ode to his, quote, air quotes, voice, in the larger meaning of that word. Ever humble, he asked me not to sing the song, ever, until after he, quote, kicked the bucket. And I honored that request. But then, and I wrote, go on, when Pete was 94, that bucket went flying and slammed into us with a powerful and heart-rending force. And I'm sure a lot of you out there felt that, maybe most of you. So I adapted the song to reflect his passing, but also to affirm his continuing positive influence on many generations. And so that's what this is about. And I was lucky enough to get I think this is what I sent Jay Unger when I wanted him to play on the record, and he had really nice things to say about this, and then I have nice things to say about what he played on the violin on this, because he did a double violin thing, which is just phenomenal. All right. Goes like this. Remember, I want you to hear the guitar, so I'm going to bring it down a little bit. I might hunch over a little bit. Sorry, Anne Louise. That's my choral director. I dreamed I heard Pete Seeger sing when he was 93. Says I, but Pete, you lost your voice. It never died, said he. It never died, said he. You used it up at concert halls and all those picket lines. Says Pete, I lost my vocal cords. My voice is doing fine. My voice is doing fine. Though some would say my voice has died, it's never been as strong as when it comes back amplified by those who sing along, by those who sing along. For I am like the shanty man who stands before the gale and helps us pull together so we all can raise the sail. We all can raise the sail. And just before my dream was o'er, he left me with these words: when what you sing comes from the heart, you always will be heard. You always will be heard. Now Pete is gone, but if you listen well, you'll surely hear his song, his hammer, and his bell still ringing loud and clear, still ringing loud and clear. Wisconsin down to Texas, California to Wall Street. When folks sing out for justice, then you'll hear the voice of Pete. You'll hear the voice of Pete. I dreamed I heard Pete Seeger sing when he was 93. Says I, but Pete, you lost your voice. It never died, said he. It never died, said he. Voice of Pete. Oh, and if you get the album, you get the whole "We Shall Stay Here" 3-part harmony that Sienna typed out for me. Hi, Sienna. And she put this in her wedding little booklet for everybody. All right. Okay, so this next song has a long story, and I'm going to tell it. This is called, and I've just got these words to make sure. I don't sing this song very much. This is the bonus track, okay? And the bonus track is called Mark McNally. Now, who is Mark McNally? He was, and maybe I'll read again from this because I like the way I put this. No, it's not in here. Okay, so Mark McNally, well, I'll tell you, I don't have to tell you because the song has it in it. All right, so I'll just tell you briefly that some of you might remember Susan Forbes Hanson, who had an amazing radio show in the Pioneer Valley, and it's long lamented and long gone. During Pledge Week, it was NPR, I called in that I would write a song. I'll just tell you briefly that to anybody. Some of you might remember Susan Forbes Hanson. Now you get to hear it twice because somebody has on the YouTube. Okay, so I said I'd write a song if someone pledged, and I'd write it on anything they wanted. So that's what happened, and I got the first. One person, luckily not more than one person, pledged, and so I got their phone number, but I couldn't reach them. It took me so long to reach them that while I was trying to reach them, I wrote a song about how hard it is to reach them. And that's what you're going to hear right now. And I should say that when I finally talked to him and we worked it all out, and I sent him 2 songs because he wanted, I'll tell you about the other one later, but he liked this one. He said the other one was good, but this one, all his friends said, yeah, that's Mark, you can't ever reach him. All right, so it goes like, and if anyone knows Mark McNally, he's somewhere in Connecticut, then tell him there's a song with his name on it that I sang to all of you tonight. Well, Mark McNally is impossible to reach. Each time I call, I always get a pre-recorded speech. Was he serious when he called Valley folk? Or am I just the victim of a Mark McNally joke? Does he have little children to light his path with flowers? And someone who is sweet and kind to brighten all his hours? Someone he can cuddle with and put his arms around? Or someone who's befuddled 'cause he's always out of town? Mark McNally is impossible to reach. Each time I call, I always get a pre-recorded speech. Was he serious when he called Valley folk? Or am I just the victim of a Mark McNally joke? Does he live in a mansion with marble in the halls? Or in a little rundown shack with roaches on the walls? Does he have acres with a brook and rippling waterfalls? How the hell should I know when he won't return my calls? Well, Mark McNally is impossible to reach. Every time I call, I get a pre-recorded speech. Was he serious when he called Valley folk? Or am I just the victim of a Mark McNally joke? I actually got 3 verses of this. Is he tall and mighty with hair that's flaming red? or short enough for all to see the shine upon his head. Of everything about him, I'm really in the dark, except I know that the McNallys had a son and called him Mark. Everybody, Mark McNally is impossible to reach. Each time I call, I always get a pre-recorded speech. Was he serious when he called Valley folk, or am I just the victim? Is he laughing how I tricked him, or am I just the victim of a Mark McNally joke? That's Mark McNally. Your bonus cut. So what he wanted when I finally did reach him, he wanted a toasting song. So I wrote him a toasting song and sent it to him, and he said that was pretty good. But I was not really thrilled with it, and over the years I tinkered with it, and I wrote the last verse just as I was putting this album together, which reflected a little bit more of things that we're going through right now. And this was the one where I thought it'd be really nice to have someone to sing. It's a cappella, so it'd be really nice to have someone sing with me on it. And I thought, well, who would be good at singing a toasting song that has a little bit of Anglo edge to it? And I thought of an Anglo player named John Roberts, not the Chief Justice, the one of John Roberts and Tony Barrett, who plays the Anglo concertina and has an amazing voice. And I told him I had a song. I emailed him, said, I've got a song, I'd love you to sing with me. And he said, okay, I'll do it. He didn't even ask what the song was. So I was just amazingly touched. And but it did seem to suit his voice and his concertina. And we had it all recorded. And then at the end, I have a round. It's kind of tangential, but it's a nice way to end the song. And my engineer, Max Cohen, said, why don't we get some other people singing that round? And so I gathered people from all over the place, and we sang. They just added their voices. They sent them all in, over the internet, and nobody wanted to get paid. But I thought, well, they're really contributing a lot. So I just said, well, what would you like to drink? So whoever wrote back to me, I sent them their 6-pack or their bottle of wine or their gin, and so they're all able to toast to this song. So it's called "Let's Make a Toast," and none of them are here, and we can't sing together. So I'm trying to remember what key I do it in. I think it's that. Yeah, it was the key of D. So I'll do a little bit of the round at the end, but you'll just have to imagine. You have to imagine a lot on this one, because there's no John Roberts. Let's make a toast to all those who have gathered, old friends and new friends. Now lift up your glass. Here's hoping your joys will all keep overflowing. Here's hoping your sorrows all swiftly will pass. May there be arms that will warm you in winter, hands that will wipe summer sweat from your brow, lips that will miss you when they cannot kiss you, a heart to stay true to you all the year round. May you have eyes to see what lies before you, ears that can hear all the wisdom you're told, a tongue that can taste both the sweet and the salty, a nose for the truth and a truth you can hold. Here's to the farmer who grows hops and barley, the driver who carries the grain from the fields, the brewer who mixes a magic elixir so we may enjoy what their laboring yields. If you are drinking a simpler concoction, water or juice from the vine or the tree, may the aromas from all of our beverages now mingle together in sweet harmony. Here's to the future, though it be uncertain, and dark clouds are hovering over our heads. May you have comrades to lighten your burden, who lift up your spirit and keep it well fed. Green bottle, brown bottle, clear bottle, tall or wide, nothing makes a difference but what is inside. Green bottle, brown bottle, clear bottle, tall or wide, nothing makes a difference but what is inside. And there they are. And there they are in the little booklet. The bottles. Okay, well, moving along, let's do the next one. I'm just going through the album. So If I Had Half an Acre is a love song, channeling my youthful self. And this was another one where Jay Ungert outdid himself on the violin. Let's see. So here's how it goes. I'm going to pull this down a little bit so you hear the guitar better. If I had half an acre, I would build a little house with floors of terracotta and windows facing south. I would plant a garden full of food and flowers too. If I had half an acre, I would build a life with you. If I had half an acre, I would never ask for more than just to see you greet me when I walked in the door. I don't need a mansion with $1 million view. If I had half an acre, I would build a life with you. I would cook you breakfast and put the honey in your tea. Maybe we could raise some children to keep us company. What's the use of riches when you're living all alone? A pocket full of diamonds is just a pile of stones. Every day is a treasure when you have a love that's true. If I had half an acre, I would build a life with you. Every day is a treasure when you have a love that's true. If I had half an acre, I would build a life with you. Thank you so much. I do enjoy singing that one. All right, turning the page. This one does also have quite a story. It's called Welcome Home, and this was, the genesis was, I saw a story in the New York Times on April 18th, 2006. And I know that date because it was the 60th anniversary of the first minor league professional baseball game for Jackie Robinson. And Dave Anderson wrote this column about Jackie Robinson and that game. And the nervousness that he felt and a lot of people felt about how the team is going to accept him, and not to mention the fans. But they put him up in Montreal, the Dodgers farm team up there, thinking maybe he'd be a little bit safer. The first game happened to be in Jersey City, and his first time up, he grounded out, and he was up 4 more times that game and got on every time, got on base. But the second time up, he slammed a home run, 3-run home run. And the story that Dave Anderson wrote and the song that I wrote is based on what happened as after he circled the bases. And as it turned out, the person on deck was George Shuba, and there were certain people did not want to be on deck after him. And George said, sure, of course, I'll go. And so as Jackie rounded the bases, I'm giving it all away, but came around, there was George with his hand out to shake his hand at the plate. And there are several beautiful pictures of that moment. And the story told about George Shuba growing up in Youngstown and how he had played on integrated baseball teams, and it was no big deal for him. So I sent that. I wrote a song 4 years later. I couldn't think of how to write a song about it, but it moved me. And I write songs when something moves me, they stay with me. And I saved the article. I cut it out, and I kept reading it. And I suddenly had this idea: welcome home. And yes, that can mean 2 things. And so I wrote the song, and I sent it off to Dave Anderson. And it turned out he had retired from the New York Times, and 3 months later, they sent him a big packet of all his mail, and he got I don't know, it was a CD or a cassette. And he called me and said, "You got to send this to George Shuba," which I did. And then I heard from his son, Mike. He was quite elderly at that point and could barely hear. But Mike was nice enough to write back, and he said, "By the way, I'll send you a poster if you like." And I said, "Well, yeah." And so he sent me this. And Mike, you're out there somewhere. He sent me this poster, and which is of the story and of the picture. And you can't see really, but right in the middle it says in blue ink, "To Paul Kaplan, welcome home. Thanks for the song, George Shotgun Shuba." So this is a treasured possession, and one of a kind. In fact, Mike, you can maybe tell me. Mike told me he said that would be his last autograph. He really wanted to sign that one, but he didn't feel like signing any other autographs. So maybe that's the last George Shotgun Shuba autograph in the world. I don't know. So the song is "Welcome Home." So the chorus, you'll pick it up if you feel like singing along on mute at home. It's not hard. On the 18th of April, 1946, it was opening day for the Royals. And young Jackie Robinson stood at the plate in his first game on minor league soil. Approaching the plate, he broke out. Sorry. I've got to start again. I'm thinking about so many things at one time. Let's start again. On the 18th of April, 1946, it was opening day for the Royals. And young Jackie Robinson stood at the plate in his first game on minor league soil. With 2 men on base, he stared at the mound. The fastball came in, his bat flew around. While circling the bases, 3 runs with 1 blow, Jackie hoped how his team would respect him. But a voice in his head kept on telling him, no, as a Negro they'd never accept him. Approaching the plate, he broke out in a grin, for there stood a teammate to usher him in. Welcome home. That's your part. I do it, then you echo. Welcome home. Welcome home. Welcome home. Mr. Jackie Robinson, welcome, welcome home. Again, welcome home. Welcome home. Mr. Jackie Robinson, welcome, welcome home. It was George Shuba waiting, his right hand outstretched. Jackie held out his own and George gripped it. A moment of grace for the whole human race as George gripped Jackie's hand and then shook it. A natural reaction, a man to a man. Someone hits a homer, you hold out your hand. welcome home, welcome home, welcome home, welcome home. Mr. Jackie Robinson, welcome, welcome home, welcome home, welcome home. Mr. Jackie Robinson, welcome, welcome home. In George Shuba's living room, only one. Mike, is that actually the living room we're looking at right now? In George Shuba's living room, only one photo is hung from his days as a player. It's not the World Series home run he is proudest of now that he's older and grayer. It's minor league Shuba in front of the crowd, and his body language is shouting out loud, welcome home, welcome home. Mr. Jackie Robinson, welcome, welcome home, welcome home, welcome home. Mr. Jackie Robinson, welcome, welcome home. And that's Mike Shuba over there in his own living room. Maybe it's not George Shuba's living room, but it's Mike Shuba's living room. I'm so glad you're here, Mike. And I'm sorry I messed up the words a little bit. If you want to get the real words, you'll have to get the album. So, so that was Welcome Home. And the next song is a cappella completely. And I'm going to try to throw this recorder in at the end. This is a song that it's really hard to talk too much about, and I probably shouldn't. It's called Survival, and it's basically the history of the United States in 6 verses. Excuse me. Okay. I think that's the right key. No, doesn't sound right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's C minor. Okay. I want to make sure I get the words right on this one. That was Welcome Home. All right, I'm ready. There was an African who lived in Sierra Leone, and when the locusts came, they ate the rice she'd grown. But they're not hard to catch, and when she brought them home, they made a decent meal. Survival. There was a prisoner upon a stormy sea, under a bloody moon, chained in captivity. But he could feel the arms of his strong family tree, bearing him through the night. Survival. There was a laborer beneath the burning sun. At night her master came so he could have his fun. Her children, all of them, were sold in Charleston. They carried all her dreams. Survival. There was a sharecropper on a poor patch of land who yearned to scream above the hoofbeats of the clan. But no one hears the cries of 3/5 of a man. He learned to bite his tongue. Survival. There was a citizen who had the right to vote, though she knew if she tried they just might slit her throat. But she had come so far from that dark slavery boat, and so she found a way. Survival. It's on the video for everyone to see. the knee that's kept them down through 4 long centuries. But they are rising now, determined to be free, at last to guarantee survival. That's survival. And I think, if I remember my song order, that's the penultimate song. And for this one, I'm going to retune and tell you a little story. I should say that you don't. There's absolutely no requirement. But if you feel like contributing, we've put up somewhere the some ways you can contribute, either on the website, Pioneer Valley Folklore Society, or Venmo if you have that, or PayPal if you have that. But I'm just so glad you're here and have come to share this evening with me. And I look out, I see people from so many different chapters of my life, and I'm so glad I could bring you together. This song has a bizarre tuning. I'll try to get it right the first time. Let's see. No, I failed. I failed miserably. All right, this is going to be a key of F. So this song is called After the Fire, and I wrote it a year after 9/11 as a song of healing, rebirth. And if you do see my album cover, that was where we got the idea for the little, actually it's a corn sprout coming out of the lava. And we recorded this live at the JCA here in Amherst, and it had a great feeling. It was with the Leverett Community Chorus, 70 voices. Do I want that to be D? And a couple little glitches with it, which was really a shame because it was a beautiful performance. And so we decided to do it again live, and the chorus sang it again live on March 10th. And at least one person here tonight got very, very ill from COVID that night, for which I am eternally sad, but she's okay now. And another person who was supposed to come do the fiddle break didn't come because she thought she had COVID, and she probably did. So that came out pretty nicely. That came out quite good, but that wasn't quite what I wanted either. So we actually I asked Max. Can you, Max Cohen, my engineer, can you put the two together? And he took those two live performances and put them all in one. And it came out, I thought, really, really well. I was just really shocked. And then, and pleased and delighted. And then Diana came in and did the fiddle in the studio. And I was really, really pleased with the way it came out. The thing about the song is, oddly enough, in the almost 20 years since the event of 9/11, now there's horrible, terrible forest fires, especially out in the West. And so the song has actually become, it was written as a metaphor, as you'll hear, but it's actually become literally true and very apropos to other situations. So I think I'm about ready. I hope I haven't talked way too much. I thought I was trying to make it interesting, give you some background on these songs. So if you have the record or want to download your favorite, they're all out there on my website, Paul Kaplan Music. After the fire, the tears fell like rain, where tall trees had stood. There was nothing but pain. A forest of green was turned into ash. The world that we knew disappeared in a flash. After the fire, we gathered around, searching for signs of life on the ground. The earth looked so bare, as dead as can be, but something was there that nobody could see. Slowly a seed under our feet started to stir, woken up by the heat. It sent down a root to help it hold tight. It sent up a shoot to reach for the light. Seedlings will grow, trees will stand tall, so we'll always know how far they can fall. But nothing can kill the will to survive. After the fire, there is so much alive. Seedlings will grow, trees will stand tall, so we'll always know how far they can fall. But nothing can kill the will to survive. After the fire, there is so much alive. After the fire, there is so much alive. And that's the album We Shall Stay Here in its entirety. And I just got to say, I'm so amazingly delighted that you all could be here and hear this tonight. I did one thing I should say: if you do decide to donate at Pioneer Valley Folklore Society, do it before next Saturday night, or else the money's going to go to Jay Mankita, because he's our guest and I'm hosting that concert, and he gets everything that goes starting Saturday night. So there's other ways if you feel like it, Venmo or PayPal, or nothing. Nothing's great. Nothing is wonderful. Just your being here, and you folks out on YouTube, any people who had your Seder tonight and are listening to this in a few days or a few years. Thank you for being here. And I don't know, are there any questions? I feel this it's kind of a lecture that I'm giving here with music. I can't possibly read what it says here, but Bravo is nice. I'll take that. The PayPal link somebody wants. Jeff, do you have that, or do I have to do that? I did.
I
They
did
put it
post-
back. They put it up.
Well, I don't. They put it after. I don't know. PayPal or credit card. Yeah, that's PVFS. That'll take you to PayPal. I mean, that's close enough. Yeah, that'll take you to PayPal. And yeah, if that can't be the only question though. I'm so glad Diana was here tonight. You've really got to hear that song. If that's the one song you listen to, with her amazing violin playing, it's just phenomenal. And she's the one who taught my daughters how to play. So we go back a long way, and they're still playing. And one of them has her own fiddle band called the White Mountain Cayley Band, right, Sienna? Check them out if you're ever, I don't know, if they're not playing at the moment, but they're up near Conway, New Hampshire, or somewhere. She'll tell you anyway. They're a great band. I want to say all your names, but then I can't do that. So nice to see you all. If you want to tell me something, send me an email, or if you want to get the lyrics, you can order the download, or even if you don't, you can get them on just write to me and I'll give you all the lyrics and anything else you'd want within reason. So that probably is a good time to wrap it up. So you still have time to do all sorts of things tonight. It's not even 9 o'clock yet. So go enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you so much for visiting with me. I hope you enjoyed it. And
Thank
you
you.
can unmute if you want. Thank you for staying muted. You were phenomenal. That was phenomenal self-control. I've got to say one more thing. Jeff Lee set this whole thing up and ran the whole thing, and he deserves a hand because I could never have done it without him. Thank you, Jeff.
It's an honor, Paul. Very nice. Very nice concert.
Thank you. And you can see it on YouTube. You can see it on YouTube because he did. He said he was going to record it, and I think it probably worked. So that same link, and if you need that link, you can again write to me. So look, Peg's here and her mom's here. Oh my goodness, I don't really want to say goodnight, but I have nothing else to say. So, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get a screenshot. At least the people who are in. Yeah. Okay. Now I'll remember who was here. Hi, Joan. People from all the chapters of my life just about are here. Come to the Song and Story Swap. They'll tell you all about that on that same Pioneer Valley Folklore Society. We do it every month on the first Saturday. We have a special guest every time. And we have a theme, which is humor next week. Jay Mankita, who rarely performs these days and is an amazing performer and songwriter, will be our guest. So that's my little plug and I host that. I've done that for 21 years now, and I'll be there. So yeah, so be sure to stay healthy, get your jab, and we'll be signing off now.
Thank you, Paul. Fabulous.
Yeah.
Thank you, Paul and Jeff.
Oh, it was
All
wonderful.
right. Welcome.
Night, everybody.
Night.
Night.
Great job, you guys.
Thanks. Jeff, are you going to save the chat? Thank you.